Yo, what is up guys, FaZe here and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day and happy new year to you all, because this is my first video of 2024. It's kind of crazy to say it and it's quite also daunting to think about it. Hopefully this year is a fantastic one for all of you, and with that being said, let's head straight into the video topic today, and that is the auction. The final auction of 2023 is what I like to call it. Now, these vehicles are pretty decent. I'm going to be going over their prices and if I suggest you to go and get your hands on them, and at which price point I would suggest getting them in general. Now, first of all, we're going to talk about the M-IV-YOH. Now, the M-IV-YOH is pretty bad, especially for 8,500 gold. And I'm saying it's bad, not in the general fact that it's a bad vehicle, but more that you can get the M-III-YOH in the tech tree, which I'll show you in just a moment here. This tank over here, same tier, and it's going to give you basically what that tank can give you for absolutely free. So right off the bat, I don't suggest you getting the M-IV-YOH, especially for 8,500 gold. If it drops to about 6,000 gold or 5,000 gold, which I don't think it will, but if it does, then might as well get your hands on it. You're getting a premium tank as a new player. Tier 8 is that medium ground of you're not at tier 10 and also you're not playing very low tier, so you can get the hang of the game a bit better. It is an autoloader, which means it has a clip, which is pretty nice as well. It's pretty fun and a pretty fun mechanic at that, and as a new player you might find that enjoyable. But, however, for the price, like I said, wouldn't suggest getting it at all. Next tank here is the PHAROH. Now the PHAROH is a tier 7 Blitz Nation vehicle, and I don't know why it's going for 12,500 gold. All this tank has is pretty decent armor and a very nice gun. It is also an autoloader, so it means it is quite fun as well, but personally, I would suggest just playing the Tiger 1. Again, that's a German tier 7 vehicle that is in the tech tree, and you'll be able to get that for free, where here, the PHAROH is going for 12,500 gold, which is just absolutely ludicrous. I don't know why 600 people have already bought the tier 7 premium tank. A tier 7 premium tank for that price. Like, come on guys, you have to be crazy to be getting a tank at that tier for that price. And like I said, there's nothing crazy about it. Wouldn't suggest getting it at all. And yeah, there's tanks like the Tiger 1, like I mentioned, that are better, and you're going to probably have a better time in it because it's more mobile, its DPM is crazy, and the gun on that is better than the PHAROH. So in general, don't suggest getting the PHAROH. For the price, you're not really getting a good tank for the price if you're spending 12,500 gold, that is for sure. Next tank on the list is the KAMPFPANZER 07RH. Now this tier 8 German medium tank is, again, why Wargaming? Why is this tank being sold at 12,500 gold? That is just absolutely crazy to me. I don't understand why Wargaming is listing these tanks for so much gold. Like, that is crazy. 12,000 gold. But anyways, this tank is nothing crazy as well. I think Wargaming is making it at these prices because this tank is quite rare. It hasn't really been given to players, or at least sold to players very often. And because of that, maybe that's why they're selling it for a high price. But it's definitely not worth that 12,500 price tag, because this vehicle kind of plays a lot like the Indian Panzer and RU251 mixed together. And in general, again, I would suggest the RU251 and the Indian Panzer in the tech tree over the KAMPFPANZER 07, because everything you can find on this vehicle, you can find on the RU251 or Indian Panzer, and you'd probably get a better time out of those vehicles as well. And because they are free, you're not going to feel like you're a burden to the vehicle and have to play it. Now, the KAMPFPANZER will earn you better credits than both those vehicles, but is it really worth spending 12,500 gold? Personally, not at all, and I would suggest you to lay low on this vehicle. Maybe if the tank drops to about 8,000 gold, that wouldn't be a bad price for a tier 8 tank, and it's not awful, but obviously, like I said, you'd get a better tank from the Indian Panzer and the RU251 rather than playing the KAMPFPANZER. Now to the two juicy vehicles in the list, the Object 268 version 4. Now this vehicle, tier 10 Russian tank destroyer, which is very troll. I'm pretty sure if you're a new player, you are absolutely struggling to pen this vehicle, aren't you? Now, the Object 268 is one of those tanks, if you have under 5,000 battles, you are put into, I wouldn't really call it the newbie matchmaking, but you're put into a more subsidizable matchmaking that favors you more than the matchmaker. And basically what that means is that you're going to face players that don't really know what they're doing and don't really do well in the game. So if you play the Object 268 version 4, it means that you're playing against players, if you're under 5,000 battle, that don't really know how to pen the vehicle. And it means that you're just going to get a hell of a lot of damage and bounce a hell of a lot of damage at the same time. Because all you need to do in the vehicle as a new player as well is just literally just sit in front of the enemy team, completely aim at them, so keep your tank directly straight with the enemy in front of you, put a shot in and then reverse back. Because it has very good mobility, reversing and top speed, going forward means that you can actually get into the positions quickly and reverse out of situations a lot easier than other vehicles would be able to. Now, I will say there's only 1,400 of them left, and that is just in the first 7 hours of this auction being up, and already 1,600 of them have been sold. So I don't think this tank is going to make it to the next price drop, unfortunately, because 17,500 gold is quite a high price compared to many other auction tanks that you've been able to get. However, 17,500 gold is actually not bad for the tank you're getting, because the 268, if I'm not mistaken, has been sold for nothing less than 25,000 gold. Maybe 20,000 gold, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't dropped from 25,000 gold in the store. So in that way, you are getting the tank really cheap compared to what it's been sold at. But compared to the other tier 10s that have sold at about 13 or 12,000 gold already, yeah, you can get the AMX30B currently in the store for 12,500 gold. So you can see that that could be a hindrance because it is quite expensive, but it is a decent tank. It's very mobile. It has a nice alpha for the tank. The armor on it is just absolutely amazing to play. You really feel unstoppable when playing the Object 268. So definitely would suggest you to get your hands on it if you have the gold, because it is selling out like hotcakes. As you can see, just 2 of them have been sold in less than 20 seconds. So if you have the gold, definitely suggest you to get one of these vehicles that I'll go over now, especially the Object 268. Now, the VK90, which is the other vehicle I was mentioning when I was saying that you should get one of the vehicles, because the VK90-01P is another fantastic tier 10 tank. This is obviously a German tank, and it's going for 17,500 gold, and only 500 of them are available. What? How have people dumped 17,500 gold on a tier 10 when they could have waited for it to be about 14,000 gold? It just blows my mind, man. But anyways, regardless, only 500 of them are left, which basically means it's not going to make it to the next price drop, unfortunately. But in other words, it means that you should get your hands on it. If you don't have the VK90, in all, it's basically a VK72, but with a lower alpha gun and a really, really strong armor profile. I would say it's actually better than the VK72 because you don't have cheeks that can be penned so easily, and this thing is probably one of the best side scrapers in the game, and overall one of the best super heavies in the game. You can hold a line in this vehicle so easily, and the mix of really cool features like the gun, if you aim it over the side, can reach up to 11 degrees of gun oppression, allowing you to basically be able to use the tank on any ridgeline in the game. And the mix of absolutely fantastic armor means that you can possibly bounce more shells in the VK90 than you can in the Object 268, which just basically says it all. The tank is absolutely busted, and I would suggest, if you have the gold, to get either the VK90 or the Object 268. Both are going to give you fantastic results, and overall I would say that VK90 is a better bet than the Object 268 just because of how versatile it is, and the fact that you can have nice, really good gun depression, a turret which the Object 268 lacks, and overall the gun is very, very nice. Now moving on to the last vehicle in the auction, which only has 87 of them left. If I did this video about 30 minutes later, the LYCAN wouldn't have been in the auction. Now the LYCAN is another tier 7 Blitz Nation vehicle, and it plays a lot like the IS in the tech tree, but I would say the LYCAN is a lot better than most tech tree tier 7 vehicles. Maybe the T29 would be a hell of a lot better in my opinion. But the LYCAN mix of really good mobility, decent armor, really nice gun, and the fact that it has a phantom crew is what I think Wargaming calls it, which basically means like your crew can't get damaged because it doesn't have a crew. It's basically like ghosts, which is running the vehicle, which I think is what Wargaming is trying to get at. So your driver, for instance, cannot be damaged, or your viewer or gun port, whatever, your gunner cannot be killed or damaged, which is very nice. Means that the tank is pretty durable, and it looks really, really cool. I won't lie. For 7,500 gold, however, it is quite expensive for the type of tank you're getting. I think 5,000 gold would have been a perfect price for a tier 7 premium tank, but I might be wrong because already about 3,000 people have bought the vehicle and there are only 81 of them left. Do I suggest getting it? I mean, if you're a new player, a tier 7 tank that is very fun. I won't lie, the LYCAN is a very fun tank to play. I don't actually think that it's a bad idea to get it, but I could have been better if you got it at a lower price, but there's only 80 of them left. Would I suggest you keeping your gold? Most definitely, because as you can see, will be available soon. These are vehicles that are still going to arrive to the auction. There are, I believe, 7 more to come, which basically means throughout the week of, or at least throughout the 8 days that this auction will be available for, more tanks will pop up and you'll be able to get them. So I wouldn't suggest getting any of these tier 7 vehicles or tier 8 vehicles in here because they're nothing great. And I do maybe think that the Dracula might pop up. And if you don't know, the Dracula is a very rare tank and a very, very fun tank as well. So yeah, if the Dracula pops up, I'll be pretty excited. But I do kind of have that feeling that the Dracula might arise from this auction. So I wouldn't suggest, if you only have enough gold to get the tier 8 and tier 7 vehicles in this auction, definitely don't get them, because obviously the Lycan's going to be sold out, but also the fact that there are going to be other vehicles available. I wouldn't suggest you to spend your gold on these vehicles that are pretty mediocre at tier 7 and tier 8. The only two vehicles I can say 100% to go in and get your hands on is the Object 268 and the VK90. And as you can see, if you don't get your hands on the VK90 right now in the next hour, it is definitely going to be sold out, unfortunately. And if you're already got on the VK90, I do actually have a review on it. You might have to look back in my YouTube channel, but yeah, I do have a VK90 review, so I would suggest you to go and watch that if you already own the VK90. Anyways, guys, that is it for the auction review today. Let me know what you guys thought of my opinions on the vehicles in the auction currently. Like I said, the only two that I can really suggest getting right now is the Object 268 and the VK90. Not so much for new players, because I wouldn't really suggest a new player to play a tier 10 vehicle, but they are going for pretty decent. The price for which they are being sold at isn't the greatest, like I mentioned, but I mean, it is still better than they have been sold at previously. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Your own opinions do matter, so leave a comment down below. And if you did enjoy this video and it was helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out and I greatly appreciate it. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today. Hope your shots hit their marks, and I'll check you in the next one. Cheers.